This is Inside with Outsiders. I'm Jeremy Asgari, and today's guest is a very good friend of mine, Darnell Bernard. Welcome.
What's up, Jay?
And I have to say, you're probably one of the more interesting people I've had on here, only because I don't know enough about you, but what I see about you is really fascinating. I can't figure you out.
I don't know. There's a lot. I'm a mystery, but not really.
Well, we got plenty of time to talk about it.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
Don't be nervous. We're good.
Okay, I'm a little nervous. It's weird.
You're
I'm a
making
confident
me nervous.
person. Yeah,
That
I'm a little
beautiful
nervous.
skin complexion and all that.
Are you flirting?
I thought we agreed I could only do that off camera. Sorry.
Off camera, guys.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
What part of Brooklyn?
Crown Heights.
And you rep Crown Heights? You're born and raised?
Born and raised in Crown Heights.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's a Caribbean neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. So what's your background?
My mother is Grenadian. I keep looking at the camera, talking to the audience. I'm a little nervous, y'all. I got to be honest. I'm just going to throw it out there. If I move around a lot, I'm pretty nervous. I'm a confident bitch. But like one-on-one interviews sometimes freaks me out. I don't know why.
It's all good.
I'm
man.
like so aware of everything.
But it's funny because you're all about. Do you talk much on your social media?
I do.
Yeah. So
but I'm in control of that. You know what I mean? I know what I'm directing myself, so I know what I'm saying. I get to also delete and then create a new video if I choose to.
But I think you do a good job of like being authentic and like. I think it's important for people like you with that many followers, and obviously you could be good representation for many demographics to make yourself vulnerable and talk about your story. Like I think there's a lot of importance for you to do that, and maybe it shouldn't feel like it's your responsibility per se, but
a part of me does. No.
Well, I mean, I think I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think it's something you should dive into because a lot of people. What you're feeling for sure. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You're not that unique, right? What you're feeling is not solely to you, right? So, but you have a platform.
What you mean I'm not that unique? Hold on. That's a why.
By the way, I just want to say.
He just said I'm not that unique.
I want to say I met Darnell.
You know what? We're done. We're done.
I'll explain what I meant by that in a second.
Yeah,
but what I do want to say is when I first met you.
What time is it? I'm going to give you 1 second.
When I first met you, this guy, his name, he introduced himself as Lord Glam. And now I see why.
Yeah. It's still
You're fiery.
I wanted to.
What I meant to say about you being not that unique, and nobody's that unique, right? No one. Any hardships you're feeling are not only unique to you, right? Yeah. There's millions of people feeling hardships or feelings that you share or insecurities and so on. So I say that because sometimes we don't voice it because we feel like we might be the only one singled out and pointed at like you're the outcast. The truth of the matter is when you're able to share those with other people, you make people feel accepted because they see that they're not the only ones feeling that way. So if you share and when you share, I hope you feel confident in doing so.
I do. I've opened up publicly about my past, and I'm not ashamed of. There was a period where I would tell someone I live in foster care, and then I would say don't tell anyone that. But now I'm older now. I'm about to be 33. I've had so much success, and from that I think it's because I've had so much trauma in my life. So I've learned how to grow I learned how to accept my past, and I've also grown because of the trauma that I faced. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but also think about it you'd necessarily be here if you hadn't faced that. You'd be someone else.
Right.
So in a way, we all have traumas, right? And we have to thank them in a way, almost like releasing them, the holding on to that, because it brought us where we are. Right. I mean, I'm happy where I am. I like what I've achieved, and I'm happy for where you are, for you.
Thank you, Papa.
And I hope you're happy for yourself as well.
I'm very happy for myself. Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in Crown Heights?
It was interesting. So my mother's Grenadian and Indian. My biological father, he's Jamaican, but he was never in my life. Mm-hmm. So I was raised in Brooklyn by my single mother, who at the time she's an immigrant. She didn't have a green card. So I saw the struggle that she faced a lot and her will to just keep going and going and going. However, we reached a moment in during our timeline where we just didn't see eye to eye.
How old were you then?
I was about 14 when I came out.
Teenage years? Yeah,
I was 14 when I came out, and then she probably will disagree with this, and it's something that if you were to post this, she would be annoyed because we're in a better place. But how I interpret it, when I came out, she stopped being a mom, and she stopped taking care of me in the way that a mother should. And I get it as an adult now looking back. I mean, I don't support it, but I understand. She was conditioned through her Caribbean background, not to generalize all Caribbeans, but through her Caribbean background, a certain opinion about gay men and gay women or the LGBTQ plus blah 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 community, which is like deep rooted in her Roman Catholic religion, blah blah blah. So when I came out, she didn't know how to handle that, and it affected our relationship.
And that's very deep rooted in Caribbean culture. But have you seen any change in the culture? I mean, guys, you live here, but you're in touch with people of that culture. Do you see a change in that culture being more accepting of LGBTQ plus?
I don't know for like in Grenada or in Jamaica. I can't speak because I haven't been there in years.
Right.
But from what I see on social media and how people are seemingly more accepting now, like in Crown Heights or in Flatbush, yeah, it seems like they're more accepting because of social media as well.
What's interesting is I'm sure you're a fan of Buju Banton on some level, right, musically, but he had a song that was very anti-gay. And what's interesting is I saw articles about it he removed it from all the platforms, and I checked. He removed it from all the streaming platforms.
I respect that.
It was great. He talks about how he was young, he doesn't want to promote that and so on. And I wonder if it was a PR move or if he truly felt that way. And hopefully he truly felt that way.
I feel like he truly felt that way. I feel like when you, like my mother now, like not that she was ever homophobic, at least I don't think, but like she was conditioned to believe a certain type of thing. You know what I mean? And I think through life experiences, you can change your opinion, and once you surround yourself with people that are different from you and you understand that everyone comes from different walks. Yeah. Everyone's also the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. You turn a different cheek.
Well, that's you turn a different cheek. That's kind of one of the reasons I love nightlife, right? Because there's a lot of certain scenes, a lot of misfits come out and looking for acceptance and find each other. No. I love the diversity in the nightlife I was in. That's how I met you. How I met a lot of interesting people was through that, and I love how
I was 18 years old, guys.
I can't believe Yeah, I was sneaking you into clubs, right? Into clubs. That's right.
Yeah. And I would dress like over the top. Just so
you would dress over the top? You still do?
I still do. But at that time, I dressed like really over the top. Like crazy. I remember Lord Glam when I wore this like Russian big crazy fur hat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was like my signature look and like crazy big skirts, and I looked like a Viking on steroids.
Yeah, but you were unique in that realm. Like it was just
Viking
interesting.
With glitter.
When did you start? Like, okay, you were 18 there, so that's 4 years after you came out. When did you start feeling more comfortable in your skin? Like, so your childhood, prior to you coming out, everything was good with you and your mom, more or less.
For the most part, I feel like she. Honestly, I had really good memories of my mom from the age of 2, as far as I can remember, to the age of 10. But also during that period, she was dating this guy who was my stepfather and father. He raised me. That's the only male figure that I knew at that time. Like I said, my biological father was never in my life.
And still never in your life?
I chose to just disengage. Like he would come in and out. I remember he gave me like this yellow polo vest that can probably fit me now. I was like 10 years old, and I thought it was like, oh, my dad brought me a gift, but it was a fucking hand-me-down. Am I allowed to curse? Mm-hmm. Fuck.
Everything over the top.
He was right. I mean, you got me on that. He gave me this, whatever. He gave me this yellow polo vest that, like I said, could fit me now. He was never also in my life. Like, when I lived in foster care, he never showed up as a dad. He didn't take on the responsibility to like, let me take care of you, son. Never showed me how it is to be a man. You know what I mean? Like,
when did you go to foster care?
I was 16. It was a week after my 16th birthday.
2 years after you come out. Why did you go to foster care?
My mother and I weren't really getting along. We weren't getting along at all. And honestly, it was the best decision looking back for the both of us. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And where'd you go from, like, so explain that, because people might not know. Many people don't know that experience.
Yeah, to be honest, it's as sad as it was also one of the most beautiful experiences that I could have encountered in my life, because it taught me so many life lessons that I carry on to this day. How I ended up in foster care. My mother and I weren't seeing eye to eye, and she filed a PINS petition against me to like take me to court to say, like, look, I can't raise my son. I need your help, the government, to raise him. Okay. I also agreed because I didn't want to stay in that house. She's right. She couldn't raise me. I was being disobedient because I felt like she didn't love me, you know?
Yeah.
So we were just playing this game of tug and war, and none of us were winning. The system had to take over, you know? I would hang out at Christopher Street. If you ever see Paris is Burning, that was like a similar at that time. Like that was towards the end of like where a lot of the queer community would hang out in Vogue and build like houses, not houses literally, but like you have like Vogue houses, and like someone will take you under as their mom or dad. So someone, when I was hanging out in that community, suggested that I go to Rodney Street, which was an LGBTQ plus group home. Fast forward, when I went to court and the judge was like, hey, we're going to take you away from your mom, I suggested going to Rodney Street. And thank God they had a bed available because, and they got me in there.
Yeah. How'd you feel once you got there? Was it the relief, or were there also things you didn't expect that were negative as well?
A bit of both. Yeah, a bit of both. It was sad because there was so many. It was like 12 of us and this house. I also was happy that I can like live my life and like finally be true to who I was. Like I remember I like wore short shorts. I dyed my hair, got my nose pierced. This is a clip on, by the way. But I got my nose pierced and I got a keloid, so I had to take it out, so now I wear clip-ons. But like I did things that allowed me to feel free and comfortable in my skin, and there was no judgment from home, from like the group homes, because there was like trans folks there and just so many just different people, you know what I mean? And we all bonded because we were all on this journey of like figuring out who the fuck we were, our gayness, our queerness at the same time, you know?
So where did your life go from 16? You spent, I'm guessing, 2 years there? Because
I lived in foster care from the age of 16 to 21. And even after I aged out, like when I knew you, when I met you, I was still living in foster care.
Really?
Yeah. I just played it like I didn't. Yeah.
So how's that work when you're an adult?
So by law, you are allowed to stay. I don't know if it changed, but you stay in foster care up until the age of 21. But they set you up, and this is kind of fucked. I remember when I first entered foster care, you get like a counselor, and they're like pretty much prepping you for the rest of your life. Like they're like, hey, after you age out at the age of 21, we can set you up with like government assistance. And you kind of become reliant, especially if you don't have a parent, but you become reliant on the system to take care of you forever. There's not, in my opinion, there's not a lot of push to be like, yo, don't end up on food stamps. Don't, you know what? And I'm not knocking anyone that feels comfortable living that life. I just wasn't that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm not going to continue my life becoming. So there's no
infrastructure to help you assimilate to getting a job, getting.
There is. But there's also more of like, hey, we're just going to give you this voucher a month, or here's some food stamps a month. And if you're already going through so much, you don't have your parents in your life, or if you do, but your relationship is a little off, the system automatically kind of becomes your parents. You know what I mean? At least for me, you know, it becomes your parents.
Your crutch.
It becomes your crutch. Yeah. So you become reliant, and depression is real. So you're like, you probably don't even realize you're so depressed, and you just become reliant on the government. And that's what happened to me for a little bit. After I aged out at 21, I lived in a subsidized apartment. But I also knew that, no, I got to get out of here. This is not the life that I want to live. You know?
When did you, I mean, it seems like you always knew that, but when did you make the move to actually get out and take the steps towards the life you wanted?
I think when I was 18, to be honest. Like, although from 18 to 21, I was still living in foster care. Yeah. At the age of 18, I got a job at Abercrombie & Fitch. And that's kind of how I went out. And then got introduced to nightlife. And I saw, like, oh shit, I can have fun and like be around these beautiful people, and I could be a model. You know what I mean? There was like I was given a lot.
By the way, this is the first male face of L'Oreal, right? Mm-hmm. First, how would you describe it? First
male L'Oreal. I was the first representative for L'Oreal.
First representative for L'Oreal. So like the first face of L'Oreal that wasn't female, right?
Yeah, that didn't invite us female. Yeah,
right, exactly. Okay, that's crazy. How'd you land that? Like, I know, how old were you when you landed that?
I see my
no. And he's humble too.
I'm playing.
I'm saying, I'm not like, how'd you land it because you're a face. I'm saying, how'd you land that? Because obviously you need to have a resource, connections, need to be discovered.
Through a friend of mine.
Okay.
It's kind of a long story. I talk a lot, so at any moment, please interrupt.
I will.
Okay. My best friend Mark, who's no longer with us, ex-boyfriend Nick works for L'Oreal, like on the advertisement side. And one day I was over at their house when they lived together, and right before we went out, I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta apply some makeup." And he goes, "What makeup do you use?" And I was like, "L'Oreal." And he goes, "Darnell, I was literally about to ask you if you wanted to like come to a casting to be like the first male representative for L'Oreal." I was like, "Shut up!" No lie. 6 years before he asked me this, there was a commercial for Beyonce doing the same thing, True Match campaign, and 33 is my favorite number. It's like what I pray to is my God, blah blah blah. It said 33 shades or something like that. And I remember feeling, I was like, what if I was the first male representative for L'Oreal? I swear to God. And
really?
I walked around my apartment. I walked around my apartment and like was like kind of doing a mantra. Like, what if I was the first male representative? I lit some sage. I'm not lying. And then 6 years later, that happened.
So you manifested it.
Kind of manifested
but
it.
you worked towards it as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a thing where people say, just manifest it. Like, you can't manifest it. You have to manifest for real. You have to come up with the idea. But then you got to figure out how am I going to get there.
You got to do the work. I went to the casting. I made sure that they fell in love with me.
Yeah,
you know,
of course. You laid on the charm.
I laid on the charm. I thought about what I was going to say before I said it.
I practiced in the mirror.
Yeah, I practiced in the mirror, and I knew that there was one line that I came up with. True match adds love to the love I already have in my skin.
Say it again.
True match adds love to the love I already have in my skin. True match is the name of the foundation.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, and I knew that was probably a good marketing slogan, and they ran with that. So
really,
that's what they use.
Have you ever considered working in the marketing agency for that?
Now I do.
Oh, that's right.
Sunboy,
that's right. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So, how old were you when you got this gig with L'Oreal?
25. 26.
So in between Abercrombie and Fitch and getting there, that's an important event in your life. What happened?
Oh God, I don't know. There's so much. I've lived so many lives.
You went from Abercrombie. You eventually you at 18, right? 18. So between 18 and 21, what did you facilitate in order to get out of the home?
I didn't. I ended up aging out in foster care.
Oh, so you had to leave. So where'd you go when you left?
So I became reliant on the government. They set me up with a subsidized apartment building. So it was like an elevated projects, if you will.
Yeah. And where was that?
In the East Village. I'm not going to say where. Just it still
exists.
It's fine. To protect the people their privacy. But it's in the East Village. It's fabulous.
Not a bad location.
It's not a bad location. Yeah. And it's beautiful. Yeah.
And where were you working at the time? What were you doing with yourself?
I wasn't working for a while, and then I got a job. Like one of the, caseworkers or social workers who worked on that property, she gave me a newspaper article, a legit newspaper article of this career wanting ad or something like that. You know what I mean? Almost for the Nomad.
That's funny. I was going to bring the Nomad up because that's the job I remember you having.
Yeah.
And I'd walk in there sometimes. I go to the library. You always took time, walked me to the back and all that stuff. But I remember you working there and running the show.
Yeah, that changed my life.
Yeah,
that's how I ended up getting out of that out of the system.
Right,
it gave me the funds to do so.
Okay,
yeah.
So that was the break that got you out.
Honestly, the break. That job changed my life.
I mean, yeah.
I
mean, that was it was part of in the restaurant. It was a Michelin star restaurant. 4-star hotel, right?
5-star.
5-star hotel, excuse me.
Or it was. They don't exist anymore.
No, it's called the Ned now.
It's not.
I haven't been, so I don't know.
I have a soft spot. No offense to the Ned, but I have a soft spot for the Nomad.
Oh, so did I. I think it folded during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, it did.
So what was it about that job? I remember walking in. You were a guest services.
I started off as a bellman, and then I got promoted to director of guest relations.
And I appreciate that because you used to send people to my parties.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that because at the time, as a promoter, you gotta find many ways to get people out, and tourists are great customers because they just want to go out and have a good time. So I appreciate you always looking out and doing that.
I love you. You're like an older brother.
Love you too, my brother.
An older brother.
You got that. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so respect your elders.
Okay, you're right.
All right. So once you left, the Nomad obviously presented a platform for you to kind of make a name for yourself, grow your network, and you were doing so already in nightlife. When I was taking you out to parties, everyone wanted to know who you were. You were well dressed. You can dance. a bunch of
used to
stuff.
dance,
He's gonna fix it. A rare appearance by Bams, Christopher Ramos. I know he edits it too, so he'll never put himself on camera.
Come on. Come over here.
He was the first few episodes.
At least for this episode. Yay!
Here he comes. Bam's gonna put this in the reel. He gets a reel too. Adorable. So thank you, Bams. Our ratings are gonna go up because of that. So it presented you a platform. Obviously everyone wanted to get to know you because you're magnetic personality. You're dressed in a way that when you walk into the studio, two people stopped and just want to know who you were, right? But I believe it's more than just your look. It's more than just your outfit.
I mean, seriously, even for like New York standards, he does stand out. Like it's hard to stand out in New York. It really is.
I think it's also the end. Thank you for that.
But it is hard to stand out in New York.
But he puts it together, right? I mean, it's not just like it's not like there's people that stand out because they look like a mess, right? You put things together that no one would ever normally think they put together, but it looks great.
Thank you.
Which is why you've probably been on all these like style Instagram accounts. Which is one you've been on like every day.
Yeah, watching New York.
Yeah, watching.
That also changed my life as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to jump ahead. But I do want to talk about that and this. But let's go. So Nomad changed your life. What did you after the Nomad? What would you do? And like, what were you doing? What did that lead to? What other opportunities did you have? Remember, you did a music video where you were dressed in red latex or something like that.
Yeah.
It was visually. It was crazy. It was a crazy.
Yeah.
It was
actually
visually.
the same guy.
The aesthetics were incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the same guy who casted me for L'Oreal. He left the agency, the ad agencies that he was working with, and he wanted to start doing film. Right. And he had this beautiful idea, and he wanted me as the talent, and that was honestly one of the best projects I've ever worked on. It was
Where was it aired? Where was it posted? Because like it should have gone
viral
or whatever. It should have.
Yeah.
I mean, you should repost that now.
Someone just told me that.
Yeah.
Someone literally just said that
because it was
to me.
the setting, the old church, the white church, and then obviously you guys are gonna watch it, but like you're dancing, all of a sudden it goes down and it becomes it's crazy.
Yeah, actually I'll repost it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You should. Yeah. So, all right. Tell me more about from Nomad to whatever was next. Like, what else? What other moments should you share with us? Because you have an interesting life.
I'm open to. You can ask me any question. Seriously. So during Nomad, they flew me out to LA to open up their second property called the Line Hotel. This was like 2 years into my time working at the Nomad. I went there, trained the staff. The GM of the hotel offered me a position as a hotel manager.
That's right. You lived in LA for a while.
So I came back to New York, and right before I came back to New York and only stayed here for a month, and then right before I left, I'm talking to both of you. Sorry, there's someone over there. I promise.
Where?
Right before I left, I met this guy. We'll call him whatever. I met this guy, and we had like this 1 month affair. Like love affair. I moved to LA, and then he called me, and like we would FaceTime. Did FaceTime exist at that time? Yeah, it did. It was like 2003, 2013. 13, yeah, 13.
Skype.
Skype?
I think it might have been Skype.
Yeah, it might have been Skype. Yeah. Maybe, actually. Damn, I'm old. Oh.
My God. What an ass.
I love you.
This was a mistake.
No, it wasn't. No. Yeah, so I met this dude, and then we fell in love, like within 6 or 5 months of me being in LA, and I came back to New York, to be honest, for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you happy in LA? Let's say
I was.
Let's say okay. I was gonna say let's say you would have stayed had it not been for
my life in LA. The people that I met in LA in nightlife, I would have been really famous by now. Yeah, like really famous if I stayed in LA.
Tell us why. Like, who was it that you met?
So
who else did they know?
Yeah, these dudes called the Houston Brothers. These twin, half Korean, half white dudes who like run LA scene. Like they run LA scene. They have this like club called, one of their clubs is called No Vacancy. So you go through, let me give y'all a little rundown. So you go through like this empty parking lot, and at the end of it, have you been to No Vacancy? Oh, so you know. Do I need to describe it?
If you want, go ahead.
No,
They don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So you go down this like empty parking lot, and at the end, or you see like the sign and neon light that says no vacancy flashing. From my experience, there's always been like this really heavy set like Hispanic bouncer and like the scrawny little gothic like white guy with a clipboard holding like a guest list. But everyone essentially gets in. Once you go in, you go up 2 flights of stairs, and there's like a corridor with 4 doors. So you have to guess which door to go through. When you enter, when you find the door, there's like, from my experience, there's always been like this really beautiful, pale, like she's like vampire-ish, like red-headed white woman with lace lingerie on and what seemingly feels like her bedroom. And she says, "Welcome to no vacancy." There's no flash photography and blah, 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 and goes through the spiel. And then she presses a button, and then the bed slides, and you go underneath her to what feels like a New Orleans-style home, where, like, on the porch, there's a live jazz band playing music, and then what would be the kitchen, that's where the bar is set up, what would be the dining room, there's a DJ booth, and it just is so properly, it's so well curated, and, like, it's such a good time. So these dudes I would hang out with all the time, and, like, they took me under their wing. They wanted me to work for them at one point. And they have all these clubs, they know all these people, and my life in LA was, like, fun. That's what I love to do. I love to go out. I love to meet new people. And they knew the right people. And I wasn't hanging out with them because of that, but it just so happened that they were great. And also, I was meeting also interesting people as well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gave that up for someone you were in love with. You came back.
Like a dumb bitch.
Hey, you know, it's hindsight's 2020, right? So you wouldn't know then, but now you know. Yeah. So what happened with this guy you met?
To be honest, so came back. We immediately moved in together. After just knowing each other for about 6 months, we were in love. We were young. I ended up leaving the Nomad to start a business with someone that I did not know, like that. And that relationship with this dude, I don't want to say anything about him, but it kind of fucked me over. So I ended up jobless for about 2 years. My ex, he does well for himself. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but like his money was his money. And I put a lot of pressure on him to take care of me. And he did at first. Like he was like offering like, yo, I'll help you out until you find a job. But it was really hard for me to find a job that I know that I could, you know, I didn't want to work at a fucking, to be honest, and this is no offense to anyone who does, but I didn't want to work at McDonald's or, you know, like my background, I feel like I worked really hard as a black man to get to become a GM at a hotel, director of guest relations. Like I didn't want to go backwards, and I was waiting for the right opportunity, but it was at his expense. So he ended up resenting me. And like I see that now, you know what I mean? He resented me, and it put a major strain in our relationship. But when we decided to break up, it was honestly, although it was super painful for like a year, and I battled for like suicide, not because of it, excuse me, I burped. But all of, and like, it was like, that was like the cherry on top. That relationship helped me grow and like look further into myself and deal with a lot of my past traumas and pain. And I was able to do some real like soul searching. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to you a few times, and you were in like dark places, and you've dealt with mental health issues and depression and so on. What usually helps you get out of those situations?
I think now talking about it, and like to have a really tight group of friends, my chosen family, and I'm very vocal about how I feel.
I love that you say chosen family, because I like to say that about the community I built with outsiders, especially my staff and my close friends, right? Because you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends, which end up being your chosen family. Right. I like to use that word. Yeah,
you're my chosen family.
Yeah, you're my chosen family too. I mean, you've been on Outsiders where you came with me to scout hikes with B and Babak.
Yeah. B, yes, I love her. Yeah.
So you came and scouted the Mount Menzies hike. It's become a staple hike of ours. It's our winter hike, the one that we do every year. Because it stays green all year round, and you came to scout it for the first time.
Yeah, you got to knock with me a couple times, because I kept thinking there was going to be a bear that would pop out. Listen, I'm not a nature bitch at all. I don't like.
He's looking for other kind of bears.
Right. Hey.
You waving, Chris?
Yeah. And that's when you cut to you giving me a hug.
Hilarious. You ever consider comedy? Because you're hilarious.
Probably, I should. I don't know.
So all right. So what was the job you got after when you moved back and you finally found a job? Where did you work?
Oh, from LA or from
When you moved back from LA, yeah.
They hired me back at the Nomad, and that's when I got the
I do
director of
remember
gas relations gig. Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So let's fast forward some more. Were there any life events that you think changed you between then and where'd you go after that?
There's a lot. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, mostly in hospitality, right?
Mostly in hospitality.
And
Yeah.
what'd you do outside of hospitality? Any more modeling?
Modeling, yeah.
Yeah?
Modeling, and recently more modeling now.
Nice.
Yeah. It's weird because I'm getting older. I'm like, I wouldn't think that in my 30s that I would be booking
Fine wine, my friend.
fine wine.
Fine
You know,
wine.
Look at
honestly,
that.
we've been there was I can't remember her name. The one-
Raven.
Dude, she's been modeling. I see she's been doing a ton of crap lately. It's insane.
Yeah,
Raven.
she's 43, I believe, and or 44 now. And she's been. We talked a lot about her in her career modeling.
Mm-hmm.
As she's gotten older, she's just had to pivot different ways, but she's still a full-time model. Gorgeous woman, but there's beautiful people out there that are younger, but she's making it work.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So let's talk about your next steps. I mean, how recent was this? And was there anything before that I'm skipping?
I worked in the restaurant industry for a little bit.
Hospitality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did this come up? So let's talk about this. This is Sunboy,
This is
and you're a partner at Sunboy, right?
I'm a partner in Sunboy.
That's right.
Yeah,
And what is it? Tell people because they can't really read it from here.
So, here.
Mm-hmm.
We are the first spiked coconut water in a can because I grew up drinking coconut water and like cracking it open in the Caribbean. That's what we do. Add some rum in it, blah blah blah, pineapple juice, whatever you like. But this is a gluten-free, vegan, all-natural product made here in New York with a lot of love. 5% alcohol for those who like to drink, and our motto is just staying hydrated while getting boozy. And we technically can't say that is a better for you, like as a healthier product, but it is a better for you.
Better
product.
than
Way better than our competitors.
the competitors being
Like a White Claw. Or
oh, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, remember, all right. So if you stay hydrated while you're drinking, it's like there's no hangover.
Yeah, prevents a hangover.
Technically and legally, I cannot.
Well, the
say
electrolytes will do that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we know legally you can't, but
can't,
we're not
yeah.
bound by that. So we'll tell them
Okay.
no hangover. If you drink, apparently. All right. Well, we've talked about a lot. What elements in your life, or what do you tie your identity to? Like, what defines you? Like, if you were to describe yourself, because you're a dancer, you're a model, you've obviously done everything in hospitality. What's up? Oh, this Instagram account. What is this? Because it looks like you're being paparazzi following you.
That's a whole
I know better than that. But what is it like? Explain more, because that's gotten you a lot of popularity.
I did actually. He did. There's an account called Watching New York, and he has like close to, if not 1 million followers now on Instagram and on TikTok. Yeah, and I met him going on 3 years ago now.
What's the premise of this Instagram account?
Life like a street style blog. But he after
Street fashion, you're saying?
fashion.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Cunningham passed away. I think that was his. I know that was his niche, like taking photographs of like stylish people.
Wait, seriously? Wait, it's Bill Cunningham.
Wait, not Bill Cunningham. Bill.
But I know you talking about the street photographer who just did. I know who you're talking about. He's like always a well-dressed dude.
What's his name?
Carried a Leica.
Yeah, don't fuck me up over here. Can I Google?
His last name is Cunningham.
It's Cunningham, right?
Yeah. And he's like that. He shot like New York Times would post and stuff. Like he always like went.
Yeah, no, I was
You
right.
got
Bill,
this-
it's Bill Cunningham. Yeah.
Bill Cunningham.
You can add that.
These photos look incredible. They look like paparazzi following you on. They look styled. Obviously, you're styling yourself, but like they're well shot. How did he discover you?
Just walking on the street.
How did you make friends, I should say?
Walking on the street a couple of times, he's taking multiple photos, and then we just became friends. And then he did this, and at the time he had like 1,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram. But he did this like montage of my different looks, and that went viral.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then gained him more popularity and myself as well. And we just work really, really well together. Like I don't ask for anything. He doesn't ask me for anything. We became really good friends. I'm friends with his family now. Yeah, he's just a really good.
Just some, like a random street encounter.
Yeah, and now he's like chosen family. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
We work well together, and we both, I think we benefit from each other.
Right.
Yeah, we do. I'm his muse, and like, yeah. And he,
so what I asked before, after I went off on that tangent, was what elements of your life define you? What? And it's a odd question. So first I'm asking this question. I like the question, but I'm not sure if it's too vague. But like I said, you're a dancer, you're a model.
That doesn't define me though. Those are just
right.
Yeah. And then
so what defines you?
I think my past, like my story, that's what defines me in a way. Me living in foster care, that was a part. That's something that I've owned. You know what I mean? The fact that I survived that, I came out of that, and.
Would you ever consider mentoring kids in?
I thought about it, but I do too much drugs and drink a lot to do that right now.
Really?
To be honest with you, yeah, I don't think that would be a mentor for mentees. Yeah.
Now, do you? It's an interesting. I appreciate you being honest with us, but like, is that something you see yourself stopping anytime soon?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just partying, like having fun,
right?
Socially, you know. Yeah.
But is that something you feel like you use to get by as a crutch at all? Self-medicating?
No.
Like you can go
probably drinking.
Drinking us.
Yeah. Probably drinking, but not to self-medicate. I think it just comes with the territory of, well, you were really good at not, whenever I hung out with you, also you drive.
I don't always drive.
Huh?
I don't always drive, but I'm not a big drinker.
You're not a big drinker. Whenever I would go out with you, you didn't drink, and I respected that.
Well, for me, I guess I'm a weirdo in a sense, but I don't need it as a super social lubricant. Like for me, I don't have a problem being sober. Yeah. It can be quite funny sometimes being in a club and seeing people regress, because when you're drinking, you almost like regress to childhood behaviors, and seeing people who I know are amazing professional lives. Overachievers, and then they're drinking and like they become children, right? So that's not why I was drinking, but certain observations I found when I was sober in an environment where everyone's drunk. Yeah. But it's funny enough, like I don't think I've ever seen you out of control.
No one has.
No.
No, I know to handle my shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I know how to do very well.
That's good. You hide it very well.
I hide it very well.
What do you do for fun? I feel like you're.
Are we on a date? I like to go for like long walks. I'll pay for you, bro. I got you.
Wait, what do you do for fun? I mean, obviously, with both with our career paths and so on, a lot of our work is fun, right? But what do you do for fun when it's like you could turn off and just do for you, nothing that has to require networking or whatever?
Depends on my mood, but. What I love to do, and this feels like I'm on a date now, but I really mean this.
That's gotta be a bad date if they're giving you interview questions.
I know. Well, you're a terrible date that day.
No second date. Oh my god! Please cut that out.
Keep rolling.
Man,
I'm not cutting that out.
I'm getting all flustered.
I like seriously listening to music and going by the water.
Oh, you're a big music. Actually, I have to thank you so much.
We used to drive.
Yes, when I had my car.
You were there for me when me and my ex broke up.
Yes, I was.
You were there for me.
You were in bad shape.
I was in a bad shape. Yeah. You would pick me up from work and we would drive around.
Yeah.
You also made me cry just now.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you saying time to slow down. You're a very positive person, very outgoing, and you give so much, right? I feel like in some ways I'm the same way, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So if I feel down, like people can see, like you feel down. Hold on 1 second. Mike is downstairs, I think, for the next guy. So when you feel down, when I feel down, people will notice it right away. They're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And sometimes I'm like, I know I don't look the same. I'm not acting the same, but don't ask me. Right. I appreciate you asking, but I don't want to talk about it right now. But you were down, and we used to drive around before I'd pick you up because I knew I had to do a party that night. Right. And you wanted to hang, and you wanted to like escape.
That was probably one of the only times that I ever used alcohol as a crutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have to thank you for that. I mean, you're welcome, and it was my pleasure to help you because I never want to see a friend of mine being sad and down like that, and I'm down to help anyone. But you also put me on some amazing music. One of my favorite artists to this day, you put me onto. Yes, Kitchenada. I've seen him twice perform. Amazing, but he's one of my favorites.
He's one of my favorites. Well, obviously, you know that.
And you put him. You introduced me to Kitchenada and a bunch of other music.
He has this new mix. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. See, he's still sharing music. Actually, it's funny. Yeah. One of my love languages, whether it be friends, girls, whatever it is sharing music. Like I share music with my good friends. Same. I share music with like girls I'm dating, whatever it is. Like,
or guys.
Wishful thinking, buddy. Did you roofie me?
Yeah. That's my thing. Let me actually cut that out.
But no, for me, it's important because music's such a big part of my life, and I know you're a big music lover. So music is something you do, something that you pass your personal time with, right? Anything else?
Friends, my chosen family. So I have and you know one of them, Tata.
Who?
Tata. I've known her since I was 18 years old. Hi.
No, we have some guests. You guys come on in, sit back there. We have an audience now, studio audience.
Studio audience.
Tata, who's that?
Tata. I'll show you a photo.
Okay.
But her and like a couple of our other friends, we just spend a lot of time together.
So yeah, chosen family and so on. Obviously, a similar thread.
Let's go.
Did you? Oh yeah. Oh, I met her when we went to that spot in the West Village where I hit you up randomly.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where are you?" And you told me you were the same place, and literally you walk in right away.
But you've known her.
Yeah, no, I know her from before that. Yeah, for sure.
Even at like public, she would come with me when you.
I remember that. Yeah. All right, we can get into a few more questions.
Okay.
What are your goals and dreams in life? Do you know?
Yeah.
Let's hear them.
Yeah, just to become really successful. Success is like.
But what do you deem successful?
Yeah, it's vague. It's a vague. To be really fucking rich.
That's success to you? Yeah, but rich in what ways? Monetarily rich or
monetarily rich? I want to take care of my friends, family, and that's for me.
But you seem like you're happy. You've been happy when you were broke too.
I am, but one of my goals in life is to become success, like to be very rich. That is one of my goals.
Gotcha.
And I'm happy and content in my life right now. I have the best.
So you have happiness, but you want a lot of happiness. Your goal is to be wealthy.
Just beyond wealth beyond wealth, where I know I can take care of my family. I can open up schools. I can open up a foster care.
Yeah.
Like I have this vision of like what I can do to give back to my community and myself and my friends. So, and also I just want to be fucking rich. Yeah. The fuck? Yeah. Like, I could go on a flight tomorrow to Prague.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you
not have to worry about that.
You can do that.
I can do that, but like, if I wanted to be like, I'm out.
I know what you're saying.
Book a flight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have it like that to just do that. No, bitch, gotta work. No, like wealth is something that I have as one of my goals. And I guess it's this vein, you know.
Well, beyond. Financial security is very important. That's everyone should strive for that because it relieves a lot of stress.
Right.
Beyond that, do you have any other goals?
Yeah, I want children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want a partner? Or you want to have children?
I don't know. I mean, I'm happy. There's single mothers doing it and raising amazing kids.
Right.
I feel like if I would want to adopt because I've lived in foster care, so I feel like it's just something I have to do. But I'm also a bit vain, and I want a little girl or a beautiful black boy walking around with my cheekbones. You know? I gotta be honest.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. Those are some nice cheekbones, by the way.
L'Oreal
agrees.
L'Oreal agrees.
Okay. What's your favorite part of Outsiders? You haven't been on Outsiders in a long time. You're overdue.
I am.
But what is your favorite part? It's funny because when you came, I think it was when you were still having a hard time
with Charlie, with the ex.
And did that make you feel better being
absolutely
out in nature?
Yeah. It was you, and also being surrounded by you and Babak. Yeah, like both of you shared. Oh, I feel like I was about to cry again. Let me take a
go to the alcohol to numb the pain.
As I said, I don't. Clearly, I do. Yeah, it helped, and like. Although I'm not a wilderness type bitch, it felt good to be in like in nature and hiking.
What I noticed was the same thing I noticed about everyone's demeanor when they come out to nature. Even if you're not a nature lover, which you're not necessarily, I guess you would identify as a nature lover, but your demeanor changed.
Yeah,
completely. You became like, I think everybody becomes like a little bit more. It's nostalgic, right? Being out in nature, even if you didn't spend your childhood in nature. Yeah. You feel like a kid, you feel lighter, and you were like running around, joking around, looking for bears.
I was looking for bears.
So
I went upstate recently with my girlfriend Priscilla.
Yeah.
Priscilla, just to make it clear, y'all.
By the way, in case you couldn't tell yet by his conversation,
I mean,
he's gay.
Well, queer, like I've had my fun. Yeah,
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm open. Yeah.
Okay.
But more towards the men. But like,
Yeah.
she's I do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't discriminate at all.
I don't discriminate at
Okay.
all. No. But
Everyone's at risk.
I have my preference. Yeah. Everyone's at risk. Yeah.
Of your seduction. There you go.
But yeah, she has a house. She lives upstate, in Narrowsburg, and it was such like She knows I hate being like in just like nature, like going for hikes.
There's a difference between roughing it and then doing what Outsiders does, right?
So she has like a hiking trail that's close to our house, and just experiencing that, it was like okay at first like but then once I'm in it, I'm like okay, damn, like I can relax and this feels great. Like I don't need a cigarette. Yeah, I don't need.
You still smoking?
I still smoke.
We have to stop that shit.
Okay.
All right. So, what is your most embarrassing moment? I know you gotta have a good embarrassing moment.
I think I do. Yeah, I don't remember.
I feel like you would have a great one.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, did I ever shit on myself? No.
We've had that as a story people tell us with their most embarrassing moments. Actually, one guy ran the marathon with food poisoning, and it took him 8 hours and 27 shits later.
Well,
yeah.
My most embarrassing moment. I don't know if I can't think of it off the top of my head.
We can skip it if you can't think of it.
But I want to come back to it now.
We can come back to it.
I'm going to leave here and be like, fuck.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to share with the audience?
If I'm single, I'm very single.
Wow, you're thirsty too.
Thirsty. So I'm looking for someone to quench my thirst.
Oh my God. This is like your Back Pages podcast.
I read it.
All right. So the last series of questions are 5 rapid fire questions. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite city other than New York City?
Other than anywhere in the world.
Anywhere.
Venice.
Venice?
Yeah.
I've never been to Venice.
Yeah.
Why's your favorite?
The food is good. The people thought I was a celebrity.
Is that why?
Yeah, really, I mean, it was also the culture. Everything about it was just so beautiful.
I love your first response better.
I know. I mean, it's true, but that's partially. It's just a beautiful, beautiful city.
If you could choose any profession in the world other than what you do now, any job or whatever, what would you do? Your dream job?
Singer.
Singer?
Mm-hmm.
Can you sing at all?
Yeah.
You can?
I'm not going to sing right now, though.
I'm not going to ask you to sing.
Yeah,
but
I can.
You can sing?
Yeah.
Would you ever consider, I mean, you're obviously a real creative person. Would you ever consider writing lyrics and singing?
I did. Yeah, I have a song that's coming out soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I like you're a doer. There you go. You make it happen.
Yeah, if I dig it, I'm like, I got to do it. You know what I mean?
I got another question for you. What's your vice?
Like, what is my, wait, I can't remember.
Vice, like, what's your weakness?
Yeah. And in a healthy way or just whatever? I think cigarettes would be my vice.
It could be anything. Like some people say, cigarettes. Some people alcohol, drugs. Some people say food. Some people say sweets. Some people say sex.
Pasta.
Pasta?
Yeah.
You're like the third person to say pasta.
Really?
Yeah.
I love pasta. I can eat pasta every day.
So that's your vice. That's your go-to. Like,
that's my go-to.
You can't knock it.
I can never knock it.
Okay.
Hell no.
What is your greatest fear?
Spiders and heights.
Spiders and heights.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah. Just thinking about it, freaking out. I'm so serious.
Okay.
Yeah. If you brought us, I would like cry. I would punch you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm that type of person.
Okay. There's one right there.
If there was like a rat or a snake in like right here and like the tiniest fucking spider, I'm gonna walk towards that snake.
Really?
Rat. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. They freak me out, and then heights just terrify me.
Yeah.
Like I cry on flights.
On flights? Really?
I mean
Those kind of heights?
Yeah, like
even in a plane?
In a plane, yeah. Because then I think of myself like 33,000 feet in the air, and I'm like, I'm not in control. I'm not in control. My life is in someone else's hands.
So lack of control also is a fear.
I guess so. Yeah. And like I start crying, and this is really embarrassing. But like, there's times where the flight attendant has to like come over to like calm me down because
really.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming you've flown a good amount.
Flown a good amount. Yeah. But like, there's moments, especially if there's turbulence involved. Like,
what do you do to calm down on the flight?
I don't take Xanax. People suggested that because I drink, and I don't want to combine the both. I think it's not a smart decision for me at least. So I try to do what I've learned from therapy to like take deep breaths and do all that, but that shit don't fucking work. It doesn't fucking work.
It does work. It's just hard.
I mean, it does work, but then no, in the moment, and the pain is shaking, and people are baby crying. No, it's not gonna fucking work. No.
Keep working at it.
Okay.
Last question is, what's your favorite food, and what did you bring today?
Oh, I did bring something actually.
Okay, bring it out.
But my favorite food in general is pasta and jerk chicken. I love jerk chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Caribbean.
Yeah.
Caribbean as fuck.
What about oxtail?
I don't eat. Growing up, I loved oxtail, but I don't eat chicken and fish now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I bought my favorite snack.
Let's see it. Do we have a knife? Oh, wait, what do we need a knife for Doritos for?
So I put lime on it.
Wait, speak to the mic because we can't hear you. So you put actual lime juice
I put
on
lime
Doritos?
And then I
In the bag?
In the bag. And then shake
Really?
it up with some Tajin seasoning. I
Yeah.
forgot the Tajin seasoning. Shake it up, and it's like the best. Like,
Really?
yeah.
One of the guys that we did an interview with, his favorite food was Takis.
Yeah.
Takis?
It's kind of,
And I imagine it's the same thing. Yeah.
But then there's something about Cool Ranch that I just.
I have to be honest, that's my favorite Doritos as well. And it also, for me, it's nostalgic. I remember when it came out. I must have been 12, 13, and it was like the new cool thing, and we all were victims of marketing, so we all believe the story. But it was great for me. It's nostalgic. There you go. So you're gonna.
Let's see if I can do.
And if you can't, it's all good.
I got it.
There you go.
I got it. So what you're gonna do? Just open the bag. I forgot my seasoning though. The Tajin.
Yeah.
But the lime will do.
And you just pour it. How did you discover this snack? What made you put lime in a bag of Doritos?
I have this is a vice. Lime.
Really?
I put lime on everything.
Talk to the mic.
I put lime on everything. This
Really?
might be a vice of mine as well. Yeah.
I guess it's a healthy vice.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
healthy.
like put like, and except for like.
Well, let's try these Doritos. I want to see.
Okay. I wash my hands.
I have to see if they're gluten free first. Let me see some.
Are you gluten free?
Yeah.
They're not gluten free.
They're not.
I don't think they are.
I mean, if they have, yeah, I can't have it. Oh, they have milk in there too. It's not dairy free?
It's not dairy free. Yeah.
I never read the ingredients.
Yeah. A girlfriend of mine is
the ingredients of
gluten-free.
Doritos. It's all terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you describe it.
So I didn't need to buy the shit. No, I'm playing. You can't have it. I should have known.
So how did you discover this combination?
I just like lime, and I put lime on
everything? Okay.
And then the Tajin seasoning. I forgot it at home.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and just shake it.
Nice.
Shake. But you gotta eat it right away, because if you leave it out for like a good,
Soggy.
it gets soggy, and that's nasty as shit. And Doritos are good, but like a soggy Dorito, you don't want that.
Nice. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up. Is there anything? This has been a fun. I appreciate all the jabs you threw my way.
I love you. I'm your brother. It's
Yeah, we'll have you back on.
He wants me back on. I'm proud of you.
Anything else you want to share?
I just want to say I'm proud of you, and thank you for having me. Thank you as well, Chris, for having me on your show. This podcast. I like it. It's
Well,
good
we're gonna have
energy
you
in
back when you get your billions, and
Yeah.
you're gonna afford to buy Chris more
plane.
studio equipment and all that good stuff. And shout out your Instagram handle. Slide in his DMs because he's single,
because I'm single.
really single,
I'm really single and desperate.
thirsty.
Don't be sending no pics. You don't need to see that right now.
Oh no, he's saying send some pics. He wants some pics.
Don't send no pics. I don't like that. I'm gonna screenshot and send it to my friends.
All right,
You gotta
man.
come.
I appreciate you. Get you on the Outsider soon.
Yes. Darnell Bernard 33 on Instagram.
Darnell Bernard 33. All right. Peace, guys.
No.
Well done.